as strong as a woman. I am a father. I am humble. I am honored. I spent my whole life giving power to the people. I'm a power lineman. I might not have the power to be free from these walls, but I am free in this moment. I just want to say thank you. I love you all. Thanks for the love and support through the last 25 months. You people are the true heroes through this war against tyranny. Don't ever take freedom for granted.
We're at the
love your freedom,
rally, everybody.
Robert and Jerry
nominate
mentioned Troy
right now.
Yeah, that's right.
And James is about to speak. James is
so in case you're just tuning in, Shell just read out a speech from Jerry Morin that he sent to be read out at this event.
Okay, so we are gonna get Tony on the phone. We're just charging the phone. So we are actually a little bit ahead of schedule. So I am going to ask Sean.
Okay, everyone, I'm just going to let you quickly know what's going on. Sean Taylor is about to come up. Sean Taylor, you'll remember, he's a nurse. He was in the military. He was forcefully removed from the things that he loved, they say, because he did not do certain things this last 3 years. So we're going to bring him up and hear from Sean Taylor. And we're following what's going on in Coutts right now. You'll remember the Coutts boys are still in jail. Here we go.
It's pretty echoey, eh? Does this sound better? No? I don't know. I couldn't hear what was being said before. You can hear that? Yep. Holy moly. Well, is it just me, or do the rest of you feel like we're getting closer to the exciting part? You know, you look down at what's going on in the American border right now to the south. All the rallies all over this great nation today. People are waking up. I think we owe a lot of that to our wonderful leader, Justin Trudeau. We have been gifted with someone so obvious, even the Liberals are waking up. Down to the States, we got Joe Biden. When he's not smelling children falling over or shitting his pants, do you think he's running the free world? Right? The game is being revealed. And we've got to this point where there's a few of us that are stepping up and speaking out and trying to change things. And we're getting hammered. You know, I'm a little out of my jurisdiction in here. I was a Calgary Islander for 17 years. I finished off my career as a nursing officer. I was an emergency nurse for 16 years. I got involved politically in 2018. And when I started speaking about what I was seeing, I've been kicked out of the Army. I've been fired from nursing. They actually closed my hospital down because they fired so many nurses in BC, which we still haven't got back. They don't like being shown.
Got one strike, I think.
They don't like the truth being spoken, and they don't like being stood up to. And as long as it's a small group of people, they can get away with that. I was watching I saw this nature video clip about the wildebeest in Africa. Have you guys seen this? So it's the migration of the wildebeest, right? And they got to cross some pretty big rivers. And you see these wildebeest come up, and there's crocodiles in the water. And one or two go in and they get gnawed on. But as the crowd builds and they see the far side of the river, and it permeates the consciousness of the herd, and it's like, we have to get to there. And eventually, one goes, then another, and then all of them. And it feels to me like we're at that point. We got a couple guys from around here that have been held in remand for 713 days. We got Dr. Hoff in BC. He's going into the breach in March. I've been dragged through the disciplinary system for the last 3.5 years, being called a white supremacist and a medical disinformation spreader. We got our friend James here. He's been convicted and goes to sentencing on Monday. There's still just a few of us. But once this starts, they're not going to be able to stop it. You look at what just happened in New Zealand with the whistleblower there. I don't know if you're familiar with this, but New Zealand's a smaller jurisdiction, and they had one guy in control of all the data. They screwed up. He sent it everywhere. And the only way this happens is with idiots and compartmentalization. With enough ignorant people and compartmentalization, you can do just about everything, and we've been shown that. But now that the information is getting out and people realize that they're going to get in a lot of trouble for the crimes that have been committed, they're going to turn on each other. And man, I tell you, like, it's going to be fun to watch. We need to hold these people accountable, and we need to let them know in no uncertain terms that they will be held accountable. No one's coming. You guys have figured that out, right?
JC, are you able to put "We've had enough" or something up on
whatever this is?
Make a brand.
We're entering a new phase here.
Live.
And we've been given this for free. For some reason,
Can you make a banner?
you know, this is... So can we sum up for a second? We're entering the end of a cycle, and we see this throughout history. This isn't the first time we've been here. We've got some different technology this time, and I can't tell you which way the cookie is going to crumble. This could happen 1,000 different ways. But we're here because we abdicated our responsibility to participate in the governing of our country. We said, let those guys do it. Politics is full of narcissistic sociopaths, and as long as they don't steal too much, as long as I don't have to do it, and I'll go about my day-to-day. And that's brought us to where we are today. And you see what's going on, and all these people go, oh yeah, you're a conspiracy theorist, you're a conspiracy theorist. Who are they? Well, you're asking how a clock works. Let's just look at the time. I live in a jurisdiction where cocaine is legal, but raw milk will land you in jail. Our public school system is encouraging our children to mutilate themselves and inject themselves with poison. People are convinced that the largest threats they face are a climate emergency, COVID-19, and systemic racism. I would posit that we face clear present dangers that are none of those things. And the more people that come to realize this, the closer we are to turning this around. But this is on us. These people that need to be let know that they're not going to get away with it. And I'm out in Alberta, I haven't been here in a couple years, and I've visited a bunch of old Army buddies that work for police services and still work with the government and in the Army. And there's people working behind the scenes. Right? We don't hear anything about the Coutts Ford in BC. We've got our own little community there, and there's a few of us that are getting hammered. Same as in Saskatchewan, same as in Manitoba. This is happening everywhere. And as we come together, community and family is going to get us through what's about to happen. We've been given a reprieve to steel our minds and prepare ourselves for this next phase. And I tell you know, I carried a gun for this country for 19 years. I've been a paramedic, a firefighter, and an emergency nurse. I dedicated my life to the service of this country, and it felt a little gross when I was thrown in the garbage and called a conspiracy theorist and a racist and all these different things. But that wore off, and I gotta tell you, I have never felt so free. I'm starting to see what it is that we are and what this is. And once you come to that realization, they lose their power over you. Right? Like everything else, they invert the truth. You know, I spent my life figuring and looking, you know, as a physical being, looking for this spiritual experience. We're spiritual beings having a brief physical experience, and our conduct here matters. We need Canadian men to take their balls out of their purse and start standing up on their hind legs. We need Canadian women to support them in doing that. We see where this goes, right? And like I said, I don't know how this cookie's going to crumble, but I'm filled with a lot of hope. Because while I got involved in politics, you know, like a lot of the problems we face, I don't think are going to be solved politically. They're going to be solved by us standing up. And there's 338 criminals in the House of Commons right now. They're all in on this. And until we start voting for people that are telling the truth, and even if we do at this point, I don't know if we can stop it. But if we work real hard, we're going to be able to soften the blow. Right? Nothing's stopping what's coming. And I don't want it to. We live in a fallen nation. We need to get back to basics, and we will. And we'll do it together. So this warms my heart, seeing you guys support your voice. And I want to say, God bless, good luck in the coming wars, and I'll see you on the other side of the river.
Okay, that was Sean Taylor, everyone, and we're going to have
Roger Hodkinson.
Dr. Roger Hodkinson is now going to come on.
First of all, thank you, legitimate journalism. They actually announced the Convoy today because they're not part of the deep state and they haven't been drinking at Trudeau's trough. So they announced the Convoy today. 3 cheers for the Catholic Herald. Okay, I'm known for talking straight, so close your ears. Why are we here today? Yes, to support those 4 guys, 5 guys, I get it. But why are those 5 guys in jail? Because there's a shit show in Ottawa. When I was in Ottawa on the deck and with Brian Petford in Victoria, I was a flag-waving patriot. But no more. Anyone that thinks that you can negotiate a better outcome with Ottawa is dreaming in Technicolor. You're pissing up a wall. It will not happen. So that thing up there, if you hold it upside down. Because Canada is dead. The final nails in the coffin need to come from Alberta by declaring an independent Republic of Alberta. As Paul Alexander says, we need to burn all the institutions down to the studs, every single one of them. The law courts, the police, the media, the colleges, physicians included, they all need to be burned down to the friggin' studs and re-established along the lines of traditional democracy. That is the only way. If we do that, which is very achievable, remember Quebec came within 1 percentage point of being independent. 1 percentage point. Rural Alberta is strongly on side. We can do this providing everyone stops whining and acts. They need to get off their ass and actually get involved in politics, in school boards, in constituency associations. It's not enough to attend meetings like this. You've got to get off your ass and actually do something, because only by that will we achieve progress. When we take control of the courts, which we can do, I think the first law on the books in the Republic of Alberta should be capital punishment. In Britain, before they abolished capital punishment, the High Court judge would put a black thing on his head, and he would say this, and I'd like this to rivet the attention of all the idiocrats that try to do this again, because they are murderers. 5,000 Albertans are dead today because of their actions. State-sanctioned murder. The High Court judge would say to the accused, convicted of murder, the following: you will be taken from this place to a place of execution, and there you will be hung by the neck until you are dead. God have mercy on your soul. Take him away. I'd like that to get the attention of the idiocrats that have brought this calamity on this province of Canada. Ladies and gentlemen, remember that three-letter word. Act individually. Tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Hutchinson. So now we have the lovely Lindsay Butler to sing for you.
And Dwayne, the auctioneer, I am looking for you.
The Coutts boys, 713 days in jail, I think it is, everyone. And this is on behalf of them. A lot of Canadians do not even know. They do not even know that the Coutts boys are in jail, and we stand with them. There needs to be justice for the Coutts 4.
All right, check it. Here we are. How we doing today, Freedom Family? I'm not gonna lie, it kind of excites me that I've known some of you people for more than 2 years now, and I've seen some of you all over Alberta, and I'm so freaking proud to be part of this Freedom Family. I got a couple songs here we're gonna play, and then I'll be back again, so don't run away. But hopefully I got all your favorites in at least one of these sets.
Hi, everyone. I'm going to get right back to that, but let me just let you know right now, this is what this is about. Check out these guys right here. Stay on page. Right here, this is what this is about.
Good morning, sir. Hey. Do you need another muscular? Add on in Actually, no, I should change the words to that. I'd be like, I don't know if it's gonna rhyme. I'm a lady, freedom lover. From out on Gladys Ridgeway. Hey, hey. I can make any music. All I want is say a joy. Hey, hey. You're the lady. Would you bring me on my kid round, bring it around, boy, bring it around. Well, if you like your job, go and throw your bucket down, throw it down, throw it down. You're the lady. And I've been working down in Georgia at a greasy spoon cafe named Up Joint, just to let no one know. Don't ever send my pay. I'm sick of it. I want to be a mule skinner. Hey,
Right, guys. So let me just take this audio down on something I'm listening to. I just want to give everybody a little understanding of what's happening today and why this is important. These gentlemen right here, this is the problem. These are basically the equivalent, I guess, of the political prisoners that are being held in the United States of America. These guys have not gotten justice. They have not gotten a fair trial as of yet. Kept in jail 713 days, I thought it was. And that's why we're showing this so that everyone can understand that people are fighting back, that the group down there has indeed gathered and they want to stand for these guys. And in a little bit, there's also going to be another fellow, and his name is it Jason? And apparently he's going to jail tomorrow. So Monday, he's going to jail Monday. So keep on listening and keep on praying for these guys. And I'll put you back to some music until the next speech.
Okay, guys, please stop talking so the rest of the guys can hear what's going on off the phone, please. Okay, guys, Tony is trying to talk to us. Please show respect for him. Like a shut the hell up.
finish her singing. And I will break the microphone again.
Something else that's been going on, everyone, is also in Ottawa. Apparently, let me just put this on silent here. Sorry, but if you'll look here, apparently a wild scene ensued as Ottawa bylaw officers decided to ticket protesters celebrating the second anniversary of the Freedom Convoy's arrival in Ottawa. These bylaw and Ottawa police officers failed to keep the peace earlier today and are certainly not trying to protect us. This selective use of bylaws with assistance of multiple police officers is putting everyone's presence in danger. This is a clear attempt to intimidate and scare peaceful protesters and keep people away from the Parliament buildings. You have to wonder, so I guess this is pretty much, this was posted, this is posted just moments ago, January 27th. And this is the look exactly of what is going on live in our park. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Wow. Very loud. These are always peaceful people, is what I want everyone to realize, is that these are peaceful people, and this is what's going on. This is exactly what happened with the Freedom Convoy. It was a peaceful protest. And there's more coming. And yet, it just looks like you can do whatever you want if you're BLM or protesting, against Israel right now. You can just do whatever you want. Is it really loud, everyone? Let me know if it's too loud. That is loud. Yeah, are the cops going to bring them coffee? Exactly. All right. So a lot of things going on as we try to understand why everything's upside down. It's kind of just like the United States of America. And there is going to be a big border protest, basically standing for your country in the border there. Down at Texas, they're calling it Taking Back Your Border. As you know, millions and millions of people now filing into the United States of America. Some have made their way up here, and this is compromising our countries. They have arrested 50-some criminals known to the United States of America security. They know it's a problem. I'm just going to let you listen to this for a moment.
No, they're not, man. You're putting the whole public in danger over a couple of bylaw tickets. All of you are putting everyone here in danger over some goddamn bylaw tickets. Yeah, man. Sir, man, you guys have discretion, man. You don't walk into a group of Palestinians like this. Yeah, okay. Let some people have a day. They're happy and dancing around. Tell us we're not in a police state.
The guy had a good point there, you can see, with these folks. The guy had a good point. He said, do you march into the Palestinians like this? Something's really wrong in our country where justice is basically being, very heavy-handed on those who stand for our country and our patriots and have flags and support freedom and bodily autonomy. And yet these other groups, what happens with them? Well, it's, they seem to have free reign. So very interesting. Okay, I'll go back to our singer. Here we go. Okay, so this is back in Alberta today, where they have done a march in order to stand with the Coutts who do not have any justice at this time. So basically what's happened today is they have gone from Calgary to Lethbridge. They are now in Lethbridge, and the purpose is to join the Coutts anniversary convoy from Lethbridge to Coutts. And so many have gathered, and I'll see if Dominique can scan the crowd. There we go. See if we can get her to show you who's there today.
This one was requested to me, right? I get requests to give them to me. That's great, Grandma.
There's some major protests happening around the world, not just here, but also farmers. Farmers are marching in Germany, and countries from around Germany are joining them because they're trying to destroy the livelihood of farmers. And it's pretty shocking, because we know that there's, if you've got no farmers, you've got no food. And this is the kind of nonsense that is going on right now.
Working all day, overtime hours, bullshit, so I can sit out here and waste my life away. Drag back home, down my troubles away. It's a damn shame. The world's not true for people like me, people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is. Living in a new world. Oh, so it's rich, rich, Lord knows they all just want to have total control. I know what you think, I know what you do. You don't think you know, but I know that you do. Cause your dollar ain't shit, and it's taxed to no end. For the rich man, for the rich man. Which politicians look out for minors, not just minors on an island somewhere. I thought that was just a conspiracy. I wish politicians look out for minors, not just minors on an island somewhere. Boy, we got folks in the street who ain't got nothing to eat, and they know we some milk and welfare. But if 5'3", nearly 300 pounds, taxes I'm not paying for your bags of milk, my droughts, young men putting themselves 6 feet in the ground, cause all this damn country does is keep on kicking them down. Oh, it's a damn shame. What's up to people like me, people like you? Wish we could just wake up and it not be true.
And so all the stuff that people did to put the signs and the holiday and that was illegal.
This is because of signs.
When it's time to show the country, the people that
These signs and these few people.
Just want to show you what's happening in Ottawa right now.
Response. Is here.
You guys are breaking the law. You touch it, and I'll sue you. I'll sue breaking the law.
Every one of you. These are for your children too. These are for your children later.
Give me my signs here.
Dude, the fuck, guys. Guys, the fuck is wrong with you fucking idiots? You work for us. What is wrong with you people? Get back to
A lot of language going on. You can see that it's just heating up. You know,
Deal with these guys, man.
it's really shocking.
Yeah, it's for our safety, right? It's for our safety. What do you get this man's property? Don't tell me what to do. This man, you are wrong. You are all wrong, and you know it.
I mean, have we all watched as the Palestinians have been able to, you know, just wreak havoc, you know, in Canada, and you've got these guys. It's just always the same story of strong arming people simply fighting and standing for their freedom.
Stop stealing from people. You guys have heard of discretion, right? You've heard of discretion, Sergeant? This is a lawful protest. You've heard of discretion, Sergeant? Don't tell me to calm down. You and your armed fucking goons are stealing from a man. Tell me to calm down as you steal from Canadian citizens. Okay, so you tell us, right? You tell us how we're allowed to protest? No, you don't. Dude. Don't act different right now. You're acting different. You are. Yeah, you are. Police state. This is a police state. Bunch of lunatics. Give him his damn property back. Give him his property. Give him his property back. Ottawa's finest here. You smirk like that, and that is you trample all over the Constitution. Who's your oath to? Ontario cops give an oath to the Constitution, don't they? Bunch of lunatics. You should be proud, eh? To steal from people? You're here for our protection, right? Yeah. For my safety, right? As you steal from people. This guy, you're the one that took down Freddie, eh? Rolling Thunder? You know this guy abuses women, right? Our human rights. You're the one that took down Freddie at Rolling Thunder, eh, bud? Hey, buddy? You remember the woman you buried? Do you remember? Do you remember? I remember. Hey, buddy. I remember. Trudeau and his goons are finished. She weighed 1/3 what you weigh, man. You power slammed her into the ground. I was this close to you then. This close, man. You buried that girl in the ground. You pushed her 2 or 3 times earlier that day, too. You remember that? I remember. What? Where were you guys when I was just assaulted and threatened? This guy has a history of abusing people.
It's interesting, that man's face. You know, some of these police officers do not, they're just not on board with all of this, you know? This one's almost done.
You guys put little signs on your police cars? You guys are Stasi. Charges against him. Excuse me, I want to press charges against him.
Okay, so with this one,
you're letting people, man, there's 15 over there. You're letting these 2 idiots come in.
this one basically is saying this guy was an unhinged man on a bicycle, shoved me and threatened to kill me in front of multiple Ottawa police.
In front of you. He just threatened to kill me 3 times in front of you. He also rode his bike through here, almost hit 10 people, then fucking threatened a woman for 5 or 10 minutes.
Sorry about the language, everyone.
Am I yelling at you? Dude, I'm just trying to talk. Well, I'm just getting thrown around here. Yeah, sure. I understand you're upset. Yeah. Okay, I'll take it back. Hold on. Double standard. Double standard.
I want to hear you out.
Yeah.
I need this to come down a notch.
Yeah, well, there's no sense in all these people around me. Okay, Okay, hold on. Let one officer deal with each person.
I want to try.
Dude, who's going to ID that guy that just...
Quite a bit of chaos going on in Canada today, everyone.
Just uttered death threats 3 times at me. You're letting him go. Somebody stop that guy. There's 15 of you.
None of you guys.
Somebody fucking ID that guy. Do your goddamn jobs. There's been multiple assaults.
You guys are law enforcement.
Okay. Somebody ID the guy who uttered death threats and assaulted multiple people.
And you're letting them just drive away.
What is wrong with you tools? Somebody radio to go ID that guy? Holy fuck, where's the sergeant? Get the fucking sergeant over here. Enough. Crazy lunatic.
Why was it assaulted? I would like to report it.
Somebody
Dude, you know what happened, man.
A lot of swearing going on. What it sounds like is that
He uttered threats to both on camera. You were in front of him. Dude, it happened just here.
When someone flagged me down.
Dude,
said that
you were standing right there when he uttered threats at me.
Okay.
I bet you're in the picture. And I've told you 10 times, and you've let the guy leave.
Okay. I literally have nothing else to tell you.
Great. Officer what? Yeah. So none of you guys are going to stop the assailant that assaulted multiple people.
Can you step back and stop yelling in my ears, please?
Dude, I can stand wherever I'd like.
Face again, you're going to lose it, okay?
Is that a threat? Is that a threat?
I just don't
I'm good. No, excuse me.
Somebody just threatened to kill someone.
Somebody threatened to fucking kill me, and now, yeah, whatever, man. Do your job. Step it up and do your fucking job.
I am trying to talk.
No,
you're not. You're not.
If that was anyone here, you would have arrested them.
Dude, there's 10 of you. There's 10 of you. Multiple assault victims, and you're threatening an assault victim. Roll your eyes all you want, man. Roll your eyes all you want. The reason we are worked up and traumatized is because assholes like you came through here and beat up all our friends. And you've been attacking them for 2 years since. That's why we're upset. You apply the law completely unequally. You let people assault us. You let them leave. The guy threatened to kill me in front of you. Right in front of you, man. And on camera. Where is he now? And he threatens the fucking victim. Where's the sergeant? Where's the liaisons? Where's the PLT team that's supposed to be here? I've been talking to them all week. I had a meeting with them this week. You assholes stand here and come in and threaten us when someone assaults us. There's definitely selective application of the law going on around here. You protect who you want and you attack who you want.
I was assaulted.
That's the bylaw officers that threatened us too earlier. The sergeant's over there doing nothing. Hey, sergeant, you gonna do anything? Well, yeah, well, please do, because there's multiple assaults, multiple people. The guy threatened to kill me. Your officer just fucking threatened to knock my phone away. It's not okay.
Okay. Hang tight, guys. Oh, man.
Got to the auction and fundraiser in Lethbridge. Lots of vehicles, lots of Canadian flags. It was really interesting. I was on the phone with Laura-Lynn telling her about the number of vehicles that were here, and we pulled into our hotel, and wouldn't you know, there were about a half a dozen or more cop cars parked in our hotel, which is only about 6 minutes away from here. And when we asked the young lady at the reception desk what was going on. She said, "Oh, it's just a government event. There's a government event going on, coincidentally, around the corner from the Freedom event." Anyway, I thought that was an interesting coinkydink. So I'm going to be going off and on so I don't harass you guys with like long, boring live streams. I just wanted to get a picture of the parking lot and some of these vehicles. And then we're going to go inside and connect with some people, see who's here, and all of that fun stuff. So hold on. Actually, I want to say a quick hello to Jaron, First Charger. So Jaron, can you say hi?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you? Long time no see. So Jaron, we met last year, no, 2 years ago, here down at Milk River, and Jaron was dancing, amazing guitarist and dancer, and he came out to the Foothills Freedom Rally and danced for us there with Shirley Hill to oh my gosh, it was Conrad.
Yeah.
RC was playing his song Home, and it was great. So I haven't seen you since then. What are you doing here today?
Oh, I'm here. I'm going to be playing my guitar for you guys today.
Awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, hang on. I'm going to see maybe because I'm not sure if anybody's going to hear you. So I'm going to give you the mic over. So you're going to be just there. There's the mic right there.
I'm going to be doing my guitar again, and I'm going to be hoop dancing again for you guys again.
Oh, that's fantastic. So great. That's not loud at all. Anyway, we'll see you inside. We'll get some video of you. Is your dad here too?
Yeah, he's just in his car.
Okay, all right. Well, maybe we'll see him later. All right, take care. It was good talking to you. Yeah.
Coming up here, guys, we've got.
So that was Jaron First Charger. He we met him down here in Milk River when all these great souls were there holding the line for us in union with our truckers in Ottawa, and he danced there. And then he came and joined a couple of events in the foothills at the Foothills Freedom Rally. So he's going to be here dancing and playing some guitar as the fundraiser for the boys in Coutts. And here is my friend Patrick and his son. So they're here holding the line, having some food. I guess we came late to the game here for the barbecue. How's it going, Patrick?
Sorry, my mouth is full.
That's okay. I'll catch you later. Maybe I'll come and find you. Anyway, they're enjoying some food and we're going to enjoy some fun. We'll see you guys later.
Just kind of remembering that 2 years ago today, this is basically the scene in Canada. And what a glorious time that was to see the fringe minority coming out in in spades. And there was just thousands and thousands of people that were watching what was going on back then in 2022. These were the patriots that came out. These were the people that loved their country. Apparently, the Canadian flag now triggers people on the left, and they won't even, use it. It was funny because recently, even on an episode of The Bachelor, I don't know why they were just not showing the Canadian flag that was there. Many of you remember, though, 2 years ago, that all of these folks, they came out from their homes. Something compelled them, in a real-time act, and what I would call a move of God came out to show their support and strength for those that were willing to go to Ottawa and make a statement. And it was not it was not a failure. It was a success. Many of the mandates came down, and now we're seeing the courts beginning to turn against them. So now
and
we're seeing that
he
people are standing.
He asked our premier a
and
question.
people are
Did you see
willing
the question?
to
So the question
keep
was,
on
what are you doing about the poor
standing up
political
against the
prisoners,
tyrannical
right?
leadership
And her
of Justin
response was
Trudeau. And
that her wings are
one of the
clipped
things that we need to
and that
realize
there's
is
nothing
that
she can do. What do you guys think about
Justin
that? Do you feel like
Trudeau, he
she's doing as
is
much as she can do and can't do anymore?
he
Just
is
curious.
not done.
I don't know what kind of hold
So
they
I need
got on
to
her.
check to see
So
if
I don't know.
we've got
Like
Pastor
maybe
Art
they've
yet.
got her
Just a
elderly
second.
parents on lockdown. Who knows? We don't know, but I'm sure that if she could do more, she would.
So you trust and you have faith that Danielle is here to help where she can.
I feel like Danielle would want to. Yes.
Hurting people, hurting Albertans. I don't know if people realize that we are moving into a very, very difficult season if it comes to economy and fiat currency. We were told by mainstream, even out of all those people, even they recognize that 30% of Canadians are not going to be able to afford to pay their bills. We are heading into a very difficult time, and I'm telling you, people need hope. So I really wanted to come in the morning, but I am dealing with a lots of hurting people in Calgary. So we stayed behind to deal with that, and then immediately after the church, we came here.
Well,
And here I am.
It's so good to see you here because you are an inspiration and you do bring hope to so many. The work that you do in Calgary, but also the stand that you've been taking since the beginning of all of this. My children and myself distinctly remember that first video news report we saw of you standing there telling the Nazis to leave your premise.
And I want to tell you, we have not changed. I have not changed the message. I have no intention of crossing the floor, if you will. I have no intention of betraying people. Even if all of the freedom people will choose the rapists and the party that did this to them, I'm telling you, I have no intention of being part of the enterprise that did this to us. So if it comes to us, my family, we are very loyal and we are staying with the truth. And as vocal as we were at the very beginning, we are vocal today. So my God, it says, He is God, He does not change. Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. You see, we were called to be steady on a very solid foundation, not a flip-flopping, like the politicians of today and some people that I have witnessed crossing the floor, joining the rapists, like a Stockholm syndrome of some sort. I don't get it. The very people that did this to you, now you're joining with, to me, maybe because I'm a Polish immigrant, maybe because I am Art Pawlowski, I don't understand the lack of loyalty. You stick together in solidarity way, civil rights movement, non-compliance until the job is done. The job is not done. The very people that murdered our children and our elderly and destroyed our economy are still in power. Exactly. And are you okay with that? Because I'm not.
No, I'm not. I'm not okay with that.
I'll tell you more. Our God is not okay with that.
Amen.
Because He's not a flip-flopping political figure. He is not UCP. He is not liberal. He's not NDP. He is very loyal. And He stands on the truth. And only truth will be able to set us free.
So a lot of people are saying there is no political answer. And yet you, as a pastor, have chosen to go into the political fray and to attack this from a political perspective, or address it, rather. Maybe the language is not appropriate.
There is always a choice. Those that are telling you there is no option are liars. There is always an option. I have chosen never again to vote for the so-called conservatives because they are raping us to this day. They're jumping children. They're destroying lives as we speak. Art Pawlowski is not for sale. And I'm not going to sell my faith, my God, my friends, my family for incentives. There are things more important than money. Loyalty, friendship, truth, hope. So there is always an option. And Albertans had an option a few months ago. And they have chosen the villains over those that will actually work for them. I have to let them suffer a little bit longer. I think the path that is ahead of us is they have to suffer. suffering brings people to sanity, because right now what you see is total insanity.
No, absolutely. And do you see, or do you foresee a fair amount more suffering before we end up starting to see a glimmer of light?
100%. I believe economy is collapsing, and I believe fiat currency is going to be shaved at least 30%. I'm telling you, people are about to suffer. And my question to the so-called freedom people and conservative is this: you have given a chance to the UCP a year and a half ago. Is your life better or worse? I mean, it's a very simple question. You have chosen an entity to bless you, to support you. Is your life better or worse? Because what I'm hearing around is a lot worse. So where is your savior, Daniel Smith? Where is your UCP that's supposed to protect you and save you and bless you? Because I don't see any blessings. I see a lot of blah, 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 blah. I see lots of incentives being given to people, but as a whole, we are a lot worse than we were a year and a half ago.
Well, but you know, Pastor Art, her wings have been clipped. It's not her fault.
Well, you know, I find it fascinating that a premier could arrest pastors, premier could destroy economy, premier could unleash hell on us politically, and another premier cannot undo the political damage that was done by the previous politician. Listen, if you believe that, then you're absolutely plain stupid. Yeah, I said it. You're plain stupid if you really believe that lie. If a politician did it, politician can undo it. She is a boss of the Minister of Justice. She can direct her ministers and tell them, I'm passing an amnesty bill. I want this to be done with. Enough of witch hunt, enough of a persecution of political dissidents. That's it. If we are truly to move on, we must finish that chapter. The chapter is not finished. We are here because 4 men are political prisoners, guilty or not. If they're guilty of their crimes, they will face justice. This is not justice. This is a witch hunt. This is political persecution. The due process is kicked out. The idea that we used to have innocent until proven guilty is gone out the window. That's not Canada. That's not democracy. This is China. This is China.
Yeah, that's right. Kanakistan and China.
Yeah. So if you don't see that, there is very little I can say or do. I see it because I grew up in hell. So when hell comes, I can smell it.
No, and I would agree, and I think a lot of people do agree that really the idea that this has protected us, you know, that it would have been worse had someone else been elected. We would have been worse off, and now we're better off. What are we pointing at better off now?
Lesser of two evils, right? Yeah. Better the devil that we know than the one that we do not know. You see, I'm sick of it. I don't want to hear it anymore. It's a propaganda. It's a big fat lie that got us in this problem in the first place. Good people do not vote for evil entities. Full stop. If you have voted for evil, you're evil. You're participating in evil. That's it.
Well, thank you. Thanks for giving us your time and for chatting with me, well, with Laura-Lynn through me. And yeah, say hi. And we'll listen to your speech and see you later. God bless you. Thank you. Wow, he's always so powerful in his speech. So James Sowery is going to be up shortly. They're going to be doing a little bit more auctions here. And then we're going to be seeing James. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm not good at this whole video thing.
You're doing good. Dominique, I'm gonna show some other things going on too here right now while we wait for Dominique to get James. Apparently this fellow named James is going to be heading to jail tomorrow. So this is pretty incredible. Look at this massive protest from the German farmers Tractors lined up as far as you can see. Share. The media is hiding the true scale of this protest. So this is really something. This is really something, everyone. This is
Wahnsinn. Ja, Leute, abonnieren, kommentieren. Was hält ihr davon? Was sagt ihr dazu?
okay. And another one is this one. So France is protesting. The protests are escalating as farmers take to digging up highways that lead into Paris. They are suffocating the French capital and restricting supply chains. This is how much more than just protesting. This is about much more than protesting ludicrous taxes. This is about all the tyrannical measures and decisions since the COVID tyranny. This is a full-blown revolution, they're saying, in France, everyone. Absolutely amazing. So let's just take a look. Look at that. Wow, what have they done to the road there? Wow. That is really something. All right. Another one I'd like to share with you then right now is, so here's what they're doing. This is manure, everyone. So where's this? French farmers, this is from the post-millennial, the French farmers douse a government building with manure in protest of radical climate policies imposed on the industry. So this is the French. Pretty funny what is happening. Let me tell you. Okay, I think I have one more. Okay. We're being left to die. Belgian farmers join Europe-wide demos, AFP, following demonstrations in several other European countries. Belgian farmers take their first action to protest against a decline in standard of living, faced with rising input costs, falling incomes, fear of competition from imported products, notably those from Ukraine. There are many fears over the future of farming, particularly from the younger generation. So once again, this is Belgian farmers. And what are they saying? Let's see. Look at that. Do you remember when those came into Ottawa? That was amazing 2 years ago. It's a fascinating time on our planet, everybody. It's a fascinating time. This is something else, boy.
En fait, on s'en fout de primes, on ne veut pas de primes. Ce qu'on aimerait, c'est que nos produits soient valorisés et qu'ils soient vendus à un bon type de prix.
Okay.
Parce que les gens pourraient croire que nous sommes des chasseurs de primes, etc. Mais en fait, non, nous, on demande juste une chose, c'est que nos produits soient valorisés.
Absolutely amazing. Well, I'm excited that people are standing up. I think this is actually a really important time. And that's what's going on actually with the Coutts 4 this very day at the border. They're all... So basically, what you can see is, let me see, there was... Okay. So just a bit of time ago, we've seen some nasty stuff going on in Ottawa as well.
2 years. But, you know, they don't listen because it's all for our safety. Yeah, everything's for our safety. Unbelievable. What a story.
People are very upset, everyone. And all I can say is, like we talk about on the show every single day, that we're going to have to be at a place where we're going to have to trust God for what this future is. Down in the United States of America, they're also saying that, perhaps they're going to have a civil war there, right? There's a convoy that is going to be taking place, a peaceful assembly. The convoy begins January 29th. This is in the United States. It's going to end February 3rd at Eagle Pass, Texas, Tucson. And
I'll tell you something else. I know another person in this town, and her name is Paulette Martel. And she's very, very calm. She's very quiet too, okay? Forward direction and thoughts like that are the type of...
so this is what's literally happening down, across in Ottawa today. So let me share with you just a little bit about this that's going on. So down in the United States of America, this is what I've been telling you guys and informing you about a little bit, is this going on. Take back our border. I had Kim Yeater on the other day, and she is part of this. There's a whole bunch of people. This is going to be a peaceful assembly. And they want to take back the border, because you may have heard, I mean, over 3 million people have come across. They've arrested was it 50,000 of them that are known to the Border Patrol as being, unsavory types that shouldn't be coming into the United States of America. This, of course, would give them access to Canada. So in Tucson, Arizona, San Diego, and Eagle Pass, some of you might, feel like maybe this is something that you'd like to join. This is going to be a peaceful assembly in the United States of America. This is, these are unprecedented times. And let me see if I can get to some of the other things that have been going on. It is good to know that, our courts up here are beginning to say this far and no further, and they're beginning to stand with us to give us a little bit of justice because of what has taken place with respect to the justice system. And I'll just show you a little bit earlier today.
Nonsense. Anyway, and we've seen our fair share of
once again. She's showing us what's
presence.
happening here at the
It's a good way to
Coutts
spend our tax
area
dollars,
down in
right?
Lethbridge today.
Making
This is
sure
where
that,
they are.
These very packed roads of Alberta are protected against the riffraff.
So this is the convoy that she's showing that went from Calgary to Lethbridge today. And this is the fight for our country that's happening. This is it right here. Person by person, making themselves available to go and to stand up for something that is happening that is worth investing in. And I think it's pretty exciting, actually. I think this is a very good thing.
22 political prisoners of Alberta. There are many ways that you can help support these families and these men who have been standing strong for over 700 days now. So we will be coming back live to you a little bit later on today at the fundraiser once we come around the corner here. But please remember, there are 4 men who are being denied justice, who have been treated atrociously. That could have been any one of you or us who went to a protest, who attended a rally, who spent time in Milk River and Coutts. It could have been any one of us. So please help support however you can. And if you can't financially, pray for these men and their families, please. All right, we're coming to the turn. There's a bit of a police presence here. And right now, I know she's going to be really annoyed at me for acknowledging her, but I'm going to do it anyway because I love her and I think she is a true Canadian hero. But I would like to acknowledge the incredible work, passion, and commitment that Margaret Granny McKay has shown over the last 2 years. I would like for people to understand that had it not been for her, I don't know if we would have gotten the attention for these men that we did. She has worked tirelessly and without any seeking for acknowledgement or recognition for herself. So thank you, Margaret McKay.
Pretty sad, pretty disappointed that our 4 farmers, our 4 dads are still in there. It's a disgrace and it's tyranny. More needs to be done. This is just the start. We are not going to quit. And they keep pushing good men. I'll tell you, things are going to get crazier yet in Alberta. We've just about had enough of this tyranny. Us and Montana are together, and we're watching each other's backs. And we're going to go there and we're going to fight for freedom for our 4 farmers. I feel bad for their children and their wives. It's just not right.
Oh, yeah.
Support the 4 crews.
Support the 4 bros.
Absolutely,
right?
and their families. They've gone through so much, and it's unjust. Completely.
Yeah, they have been in remand for more than 700 days now.
713 today for the most part, yeah.
It's the 2nd anniversary, and it pisses me right off because these guys are still in jail, and they shouldn't be in jail. I got here early. I was here last night, and I parked down the road because it was quieter, so I could be here right on time. But we got to get them out.
I see you've got tears coming down your eyes.
Yeah.
You really care about.
Oh my,
Yeah.
yes,
We do.
absolutely, absolutely.
You know, these guys would do anything for us, and we'd do anything for them.
If you would like to support my journalism, please consider donating at mediabizergan.com/donate.
Fetterman, you can't hide! You're supporting genocide! 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 Fetterman, you can't hide! You're supporting
Okay, now, Michelle, okay, just a brief interlude with an old cat. There we
Winnie.
go. An old cat just to keep you busy just for a moment here. Okay, Michelle, Dominique Fournier is just about to get onto her page with a gentleman that
Don't
we
go too
really do
far in
want
there,
to
you'll
talk
get
to.
buried. You get buried in there.
Just a second here.
It's a lot of snow.
This.
Oh, look at our little footprint.
There we go. Watch some of this going on. This is going on in Belgium. So this is going on in Belgium, everyone. If Europe's politicians and leaders don't realize there's a big problem, it shows that they no longer care about our agriculture. This is for real. What is going on across the world? What we want is for our products to be valued and sold at good prices. Because people might think we're bounty hunters, but we're not. All we want is for our products to be valued. Seems to be a real crazy, a really crazy kind of thing going on across the world to try to harm our farmers, whether it's climate change nonsense, you know, or something like that. It's just all really difficult. Remember, here's something else going on, and this is kind of cool too, because you know, they've gotten so crazy that they are now spreading manure. Okay, French farmers douse a government building with manure in protest of radical climate policies imposed on the industry. Now, wow, I don't know what would happen to us here in Canada. Does anyone have a guess what we'd have to face if we were here in Canada and we were deciding that we were going to, you know, start doing this? I mean, they'd send the rubber bullets out for us. And they'd get the people that were on the sidelines as well. I mean, that's what they would do. So it would be really funny. Oh my word. You know, a lot of people are basically saying, and as I've already shown you before, this is a massive protest from the German farmers going on. So the massive protest is going on, tractors lined up as far as you can see. And this post was from today. So I guess in Germany it's dark. And this is what's happening. These farmers are serious. And as they've been saying, they're not going to take it. Pretty cool, everybody. This is the crazy going on in our world. And I don't like it when our government has anything, says one word about, you know, trying to meet up to these ridiculous carbon, you know, carbon, what do they call it? The climate carbon, what? Yeah, well, the footprint, yes, but you know, they want to meet the goals. You know, they have these CO2 goals, and oh, we want to fulfill our part of that. Well, listen, around the world, they're literally, you know, harming people. So you know, take a look at this nonsense. This is really crazy. Right back here in Canada, this is what's going on here.
Literally every time I come to one of these things in my face is on the poster. Why wouldn't they? I don't know, but I don't know. In my opinion, that's just selfish, and they want us to be scared. So
It's not selfish, it's realistic, because you were here when none of us believed that anything other than, a slap on the wrist would happen. None of us imagined that these 4 men would end up incarcerated for 713 days and counting. And not even in a prison or a jail, but in a remand center. And Jerry, and so what is that like for you, without, kind of bringing it too close to the heart? What is that like, knowing that someone who was here just like everyone else has been incarcerated for 713 days, and here we all are walking free?
I think it's totally just surreal. Like, we have laws in this country for a reason. We have we have our human rights for a reason. And when we have a government or just the people, it feels like we have absolutely no power. Nobody broke any laws. We are allowed to peacefully protest. I'm allowed to sing on stage if I want to at a peaceful protest. You're allowed to be there. So until we have something that says that, this and this were actually, these were the issues, I think I'm still in this complete disbelief that this is happening. And, this is Canada. This is supposed to be one of the freest countries in the whole world. And it breaks my heart every day when I see what's going on in this country, what it's becoming from every system that we have in place. It's government, it's healthcare, it's school system. It is every single thing.
Hi there. Can you hear me, Jason?
Yes, it's James.
Oh, James. I'm sorry. I've been saying your name right the whole time till right now. Okay. James, thank you for giving us time. Listen, give us the fastest scoop you can on what's happened, like your story. And you've got a serious day coming up tomorrow, right?
Monday, yeah.
Okay, Monday, yes, right.
Yeah, so I was down at the Coutts Milk River protest. I delivered firewood there on February 9th. When I left on February 14th is when I decided to leave. And from there I went through a check stop where I hit a pylon. And long story short, I've been charged with assault with a weapon and dangerous driving.
Wow.
Been lack of evidence all around. There's literally a reenactment photo that the officers took 2 weeks before trial in Sherwood Park. A picture of a squash pylon, and the officer's testimony and my testimony. That's it for evidence. So here we are today now. I go to face conviction, sentencing on Monday, January 29th at 10 a.m. at the Lethbridge Courthouse. From there, I will either get...
what did you say? Oh, keep going.
Okay, sorry, yeah. So from there, I'll get either 15 to 18 months in prison is what the Crown is seeking. And I'm also submitting, what's the word called? Lawyers putting out her written submissions for house arrest, sorry. So we're banking on house arrest at the meantime. And once I'm sentenced, then we can file the appeal application. From there, we'll be going to appeals court and going into Supreme Court and so on and so forth.
So James, am I to understand that it's sort of about hitting a pylon?
Yes, that's correct. So the check stop I went through, the officer was sitting in his car at the time when I did my pre-trip inspection. They testified I was parked 351 meters from this check stop when I did my logbooks and stuff. From there, they said that I was doing 100 kilometers an hour when I went to the check stop. He got out of his car within the last 10 seconds and stood beside his driver's door. And that's when I went by after he had given a waving hand gesture. I took it as a sign of goodbye. I testified that hand gesture in court. They never denied it. He testified he made a waving hand gesture and couldn't remember what it was. And yeah, so as I went by, my front tire did hit a pylon and it crushed it and whatever. Scared him, I'm not sure. But yeah, that's that's where
Yeah,
we're at.
you really deserve to be going through all this trouble for the pylon. I mean, we've been showing some footage, James, in Ottawa today. The police are having some confrontations. There was a man totally shoved down, threatened. He was on a bike, one of ours, and the police basically are doing nothing on the other side but making trouble for anybody who seems to be standing for freedom in Canada. Do you think something's wrong? Like has somebody seized our justice and judicial and our policing forces?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm not sure what the beliefs are totally in Ontario. I mean, I was there a month ago, but I'm not going to speak on behalf of Ontario and their beliefs. I know here in Alberta, we have understood the fact that the RCMP is federal. They work for the government. They don't work for the people. We know that hand in hand. I'm not disagreeing. There are some good police officers. There's also some bad ones, but they have made a name for themselves. So, where do you go from there? Yeah, it's hard. It's very difficult.
Okay, so is it your position then that you're really being you're being targeted? And I mean, this is a hard thing. How much time are you facing, or what kind of charges can end up being put against
Yeah.
you?
So targeting, yeah. I mean, if anybody knows the story from the beginning, they put a fire ban on in Coutts there in the middle of February in Alberta. So, I mean, that's unheard of. I took it upon myself to make a Facebook post and looking for firewood donations, and load it up the back of the hydrovac and take it down to Milk River. So, of course, when I got there, they had no idea what was in the tank. The tank was closed. And when I unloaded it in front of them, I mean, I pulled the fast one on them. They didn't know what had happened. So, yeah, it's as far as targeting goes, I do believe they were looking for some sort of justification for me bringing this firewood in.
So what is your thoughts and feelings on what's going on in Canada here across the provinces? People have been upset by some of the ways that the police are handling it. Do you feel like you're going to get a fair trial? Are you worried? Where do you how encouraged are you today with the people there, but knowing what you have to face on Monday?
Yeah, so for a fair trial, I mean, I'm not saying that it wasn't a fair trial by any means. When I was arrested, I was put in jail. I picked a lawyer out of the Yellow Pages. That was my first mistake. I've never been in trouble in my life. I've had a class 1 since I was 18 years old, and I've never been in trouble. So I didn't know the system whatsoever. So yeah, I picked a lawyer out of the Yellow Pages. That was my first mistake. I never met my lawyer until the day of the trial. I believe there's 3, maybe 4 emails transferred between us through the whole year and a half. And then when we got to trial, I thought it was a good idea to go with a jury. Well, nobody really knew my story or heard about me or anything because I was placed on conditions, where I was to keep the peace, not talk, basically. So, looking back at it now, I should have actually looked for a really good lawyer, number one. Number two, I never should have stayed quiet. I should have spoke out the truth right from the beginning. And, it's just one of those things that you have to prove yourself innocent to be innocent. It's not innocent until proven guilty. Like, it's pretty surreal moments.
Okay, so in light of that, when you say, you should have spoken out sooner, some of the Coutts 4 have been very silent because their lawyers have told them to be quiet. And that's maybe one of the reasons that a lot of Canadians don't even know that we have political prisoners in Canada.
Absolutely. So that's a big thing. Like me, myself, I can speak for myself. I'm not a public speaking person. I'm a farmer from central Alberta. I don't get out there and go, so it's kind of one of those things where people like yourself and other podcasters, other independent news media, stuff like that, we try to push you guys to push out our stories as much as possible. We rely on you guys because the mainstream media is not doing their job. We know that through and through. When I was arrested, CBC labeled me as a white supremacist. That's a complete lie. So we know this. So we depend on you guys, you independent mainstream or independent media, podcasters, to put our stories out.
Yeah, and I think that that's getting more and more important because we're certainly not getting coverage from the CBC. And this gentleman here that is now coming up on the screen, basically, he felt that he had been literally intimidated in front of the police officers, and yet they watched it and they never did a thing. And do you think that people get enraged and angered when they feel that they're not being heard? That's one of the dangers here, is that people who feel that there is no justice, there is nobody listening, the police officers are not being fair, and perhaps there is not an accommodating for the rights of Canadians to protest and to stand for what they believe in. And in your situation, to literally run over a stupid pylon, I think that there's a growing anger in Canada about some of the things we're seeing.
Absolutely. I mean, we see it time and time again. The news puts out whatever Trudeau wants to put out. When it comes to anybody else's stories or anybody else's life, it doesn't mean anything. We're peasants, to the government, and that's not the way it's supposed to be. They're supposed to work for us. That's what we need to get back to. We need to get back to the grassroots, of the basics. Even when we started the Convoy back in 2022, he tried to denounce us, calling us a small fringe minority. Well, we proved it here today with over 250 trucks just doing a convoy alone in Lethbridge. That's not a small fringe minority by any means. It brought people together, united people, it woke people up, and we're still standing here today and fighting and waking more and more people up daily.
Are you encouraged by this recent federal court decision that what Trudeau did was unconstitutional?
So I'll speak the truth on this. A lot of people think that, the invocation of the Emergencies Act, it being unjust, is going to save us all. No. You have to realize that everybody down in Coutts was arrested before the Emergencies Act was invoked. Okay? It will help the people in Ottawa, Chris Barber, Tamara Leach, Pat King, so on and so forth. But when it comes to us, the 13 of us or whatever that was arrested down in Coutts, our demonstration was leaving and everything before it had even been invoked. So no, it's not going to help us in our trials.
Well, thank you for being honest about that. What do you think could be helpful to you? How can we help you at this point?
So I do have a Give, Send, Go, and I have an e-transfer. It's all posted on my Facebook page. That's really the only social media.
Give us your full name again.
Yeah, so it's James Sowery, Sowery. And my group page is James Sowery Support Center.
Sawery.
Sowery.
Yeah, SOW. All right, let me get that right. Okay, and would you like people to come to court on Monday for you?
Absolutely. Fill that courtroom up. Fill up outside. Blow it up. As many people show up. I believe we're allowed 88 people in the courtroom, so I expect to see 2,000 there.
That's awesome. And James, I hear that it's not just yourself, but there are other pending arrests and charges for others that have been standing up as well. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, so there's 14 of us that were arrested at the protest in 2022. There's 3 other gentlemen coming up here in April that they're stating that these are the organizers of the Coutts protest. Their trials are coming up in April. We have Chris, Jerry, Tony, Chris still in remand here in Lethbridge. We drove by the remand center, and Chris Carbert was looking out his window and was able to wave at us. That was a very emotional moment for us. These guys have been held in there, I believe it's 713 days today. 713 days today, I believe.
Yes.
And, without a trial, without bail, without being convicted, and they're still being held. You have to look at it in perspective. These guys, it does not matter if they're guilty or innocent. it does not matter. The justice system, they're due rights to a speedy trial. Like I said, 713 days in a remand, denied bail, denied 2 Christmases with their families, denied birthdays, watching their loved ones pass away, and they're not even convicted yet. So how can you get behind that, whether they're guilty or not guilty? That doesn't matter at this point. Until they go to trial, the justice system will figure that out.
Right. And I think that there was a letter read out by Jerry. You can see him at the top right of your screen there. And I've had Anthony Tony on my broadcast. So will you please retain my number? And if you are indeed, in there, and we pray not, but will you please give me a call and let's continue to get the word out. I'm actually shocked at the amount of Canadians that don't understand that we have 4 prisoners in, that we have you facing charges for a pylon infraction, and we have other people that are going to be facing charges.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. Thank you very much. Is Dominique there?
Yep. I also want to clarify one thing.
Yes, please.
My conditions state that I can't protest and I can't convoy. I was not in the convoy today. I was at the beginning at Stewart's Siding, took some photos, and from there I went to the barbecue and met up with all the truckers when they got here. So here's Dominique here.
I love it. We hear and understand that you are not protesting and you're not in a convoy, and enjoy your pizza.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Hi, Dominique.
Hey, Laura-Lynn, thank you
Hey.
so much for sharing
you
your
for
story.
having me.
No, it was great, and it's great meeting you face to face, and thank you for everything you've been doing. Honestly, your courage is outstanding.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it.
All the supporters and all the people around that are here, joining in on these fundraisers, joining in on these rallies, these convoys. Coming to meet up, shake our hands, listen to our stories. It's because of you guys why we keep this fight going. Otherwise, we would have broke already. We would have given up. So.
Okay, well, this is what's going on. Basically, for many of the people that have gathered there, Dominique, you've had some incredible interviews today. Healthy people don't need to quarantine. I'm going through a little bit of some of the beautiful shots that are taking place today. Dominique, is there anyone else? Do you see Sean Taylor there?
Oh, look who I found.
Oh, I was just asking for you.
Yes,
oh
you
my
were.
gosh.
I'm gonna pass the mic over to Sean, Laura.
Okay, thank you. Hey, Sean, thank you.
Hey, Laura-Lynn, it's your Alberta correspondent standing by.
I love it, Sean. I was just saying to her, have you seen Sean there? Hey, listen, thanks for speaking earlier. And as always, you add a bit of flavor. Sean, it was your opinion. People were very excited about what you were saying. You think this is a very serious situation, don't you, what Canada is going through now? I want to ask you to watch your language carefully because of the platforms we're on.
Yep.
Well, one of them in particular. But I want you to tell me in the best possible way, because about the severity you feel that Canada is in right now. How do you see it? You're a medical, first of all, you were a nurse and you were also in the military.
Yeah, you can feel it, right? Like you've been traveling around to these things too, and you just feel this energy. We're coming to a point where there's a really large number of people that's coming to the conclusions that we had come to a while ago, right? And the reason I'm out in Alberta right now is actually I haven't been here in a couple of years, and I've been touring around seeing a bunch of ex-military buddies and talking with people that are involved in investigations into what's been going on over the last 3 years, and progress is being made. I don't think it's going very well for them, and we see the developments that are happening down in the States in real time. You can feel it. Something's changed.
Yes.
And I'm excited, right?
I'm excited too. Do you think that it's helpful that the federal court found that Justin Trudeau's actions were unconstitutional?
It's surprising, really, right?
It was. Yeah.
Yeah, and we're seeing other decisions. There was that Saskatchewan nurse, and all her charges were dropped. I kind of hope that splashes on me a little bit out in my deal out in BC. But things are starting to go our way a little bit, and I don't know how this is going to evolve, but it is evolving. Where we've seen the stagnation, that there hasn't been a lot of movement on a lot of these fronts, we're actually starting to see things move a little bit. So it is exciting. Everyone's watching what's going down on the southern border in the States.
Bonds and
Look at France, Germany. Like, this is we're siloed, right? And that's what's so neat about today and the incredible turnout. Like the Coutts 4, I've heard about them, but we're in our own fight, right? Like my fight with the college, Dr. Hoff's coming up. Like we hear about the people that are being hammered in our community, but this is going on across the country, right? They're not hearing about us. We're not hearing about them. But to be able to travel around and see the same thing that's happening in BC is happening here. It's happening in Saskatchewan. It's happening in Manitoba. It's happening across this country. And we get glimpses. It's happening in other countries too. So, it's an exciting time. And it looks like we're switching into the next phase, right? You were up in Edmonton with me at Tucker. That's not the message that we expected to hear, right? Something's changed, and it's exciting. I hope this is progress and moving towards something better.
Canadians are really polite, but if you can see in the screen, I'm not sure, but the French farmers are dousing a government building with manure. We don't do stuff like that.
Manure spreaders. Yeah. They've become, this decade they've become political instruments. It's
right. Yeah, and there's also a big convoy to go and deal with the border as well, Sean. Do you think that Canada will ever again engage in another convoy that of the significance that we saw? Was that a one-time deal? Some people say that might have been a one-time shot, that Freedom Convoy 2022.
Well, I don't know if we'll see another one like it. It was a singular event, right? But I think we're going to see Canadians start to get on their hind legs and push back harder, right? That's the impression that I've got. Like talking with friends that I haven't talked to in years, and a lot of people that were duped and were going along with the mainstream narrative are no longer doing that, and they feel betrayed and they feel lost. They feel like we did a couple of years ago, right? And they're catching up. There's just the nice thing, and that's why Justin Trudeau is one of my favorites, right? It's becoming really obvious, and we're at the point now. It's not hard to see; it's hard to believe. And the more you pay attention, the more you see what's going on around you. You can't help but notice these things. And our brothers and sisters to the south, they seem to have a little more revolutionary spirit in their DNA than we do up here. It's funny watching what is that flag? The Don't Tread on Me flag. We got the Canadian version up here that says, "Please leave me alone," with the angry goose, right? Like it's just, but it's happening here too. And like I said, I'm excited. We get through this, right? And we get through this together with community and faith. And I'm looking forward to this getting us closer to where we need to be.
Do you have any concerns about what we might be facing at the tail end? Hopefully, the tail end of Justin Trudeau's his reign of terror in Canada. Do you have any thoughts on what might what might take place this year as we kind of head into a possible election next year? Do you have any thoughts?
You know how I feel like trading Justin Trudeau for someone who's more likable, more articulate, smarter, but working for the same people, I think is counterproductive at this point.
Yeah.
I like Justin Trudeau, right? Like I've been traveling around trying to wake people up. He does a much better job at that than I do. My focus is on our community and steeling our minds for what's about to happen, right? And I don't know what the timelines that this is moving on, but we see an acceleration over the last little while, and it's got me excited, right? We live in a fallen nation, right?
Yeah.
You look what's going on. Like I'm in BC where it's legal to buy cocaine, but raw milk will land you in jail. Our public school system is poisoning the minds of our children and encouraging them to mutilate themselves, right? Which is what got you in hot water there a few years ago. You started speaking out against that. It's still going on, right? Like we have to end these things. And I'm seeing stuff like, and I feel terrible. I forget her name. She joined the UCP and started speaking too much truth, so they kicked her out, and she was labeled a white supremacist. She took CBC to court for slander, won $7 million, and they've used that money as a seed to start a new education system out there. And I've got an ex-military buddy, his kids are in this school, and it's incredible. They're teaching classics, they're teaching Singapore math, right? And they've thrown out this corrosive ideology, this poison the minds of generations of Canadians. That's why we're in this battle, right?
Right.
And where we are in this.
Now, something that's going on, I think we should all be aware of, is that there is basically Trudeau and Singh's teams are quietly planning an electoral reform legislation. And this is very odd. Basically, Maxime Bernier has chimed in on this because they want the election to be 3 days. They want you to be able to vote in any of the different poll stations that are in your riding. They want to maybe perhaps make it where it's going to be, easier to send in your mail vote. This is like what the United States ran into with their problem, So I think just give me a second here. I'll show you. So Trudeau and Singh's teams quietly planning electoral reform legislation. This is what's going on. What do you think about that?
Well, to do otherwise would be extremely racist, Laura-Lynn. And, right? Like, what do you say at this point? Like I said, you gotta love Justin. He's extremely obvious, and his little buddy there, Jagmeet. They just got to keep doing what they're doing, and we'll get there. Oh, Laura-Lynn, you've been muted.
Yeah, that's okay. I got a lot of things happening here behind the scenes going on. Okay, do you then I will ask you, because some people say, I don't know if we're going to have an election, we're going to see civil war. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, Colonel Douglas McGregor, I was listening to his interviews, and he doesn't think we're going to see one. It wouldn't surprise me in the least if they try to pull some shenanigans. Or you look at the stresses this nation's been under, right? And this beautiful gift that we've been given, the resiliency it's shown under a prolonged, multi-faced attack. Eventually, you go into a cascade failure, right? Where all these compensatory mechanisms that keep us trucking along, keep the food moving, keep the energy and the lights on, that eventually collapses under enough pressure. And whether that happens before we get to a national election or not remains to be seen. Like I said, we're in an incredible state of flux right now. Things move very quickly, and with global communication and the way people are able to mobilize in multiple nations at the same time, we could live in an extremely different world by November. I don't know. I don't know what to expect. We're in the fog of war, and you know me. I come from a psychological operations background in the military, and I think people are unprepared for the phase that we're about to enter. The quality of the deep fakes are going to be indistinguishable from reality. People aren't going to be able to know, like, unless you're able to sit next to the person and pinch them, you're not going to know if you're communicating with the real person or not. So the ability for people to use that to deceive, You look at the infiltration of all our grassroots movements. We have no grassroots movements in Canada. They're all astroturfed and infiltrated by the powers that be. And this is old stuff, right? You know, like as Lenin, how do you control the opposition? You lead it. We see it in all the provinces. We see it in Ottawa. We see it everywhere. So people are waking up, though. Like I talk to people who are diehard conservatives and supporting all this. It's just like we just need to get rid of Trudeau, right? I get it. Trudeau's a powerful spell. He makes me very angry when I see him on my TV. But at the same time, I love him because he's doing a good job. And people are realizing that, you know, swapping them out for people that work for the same people is counterproductive. So I hope we get there. I hope we get there with the least amount of turmoil as we can. But you got to look at what's been done. We've quadrupled the money supply over the last few years, right? You look at the mass immigration, you know, that's come into our country. When there's refugees fleeing war, they bring women and children and old people, right? And that's not what we're seeing come into our borders.
Sean, what would you do about the borders if Canada was facing 3 million illegal border crossers? What would you do?
Well,
like the States is.
We've seen that. It's just been legitimized by our government, right? No one is bringing more people in per capita than Canada right now, and I think the reason behind that is the same as what's happening in the States. So, like I said, we need to get more people aware of what's going on, and that's happening, and it's happening organically. It's happening because of the things that you and people like you are saying. It's happening because our government is so obvious in the way that they're conducting themselves, and I look forward to the next phase of this.
Yeah, I bet you will. Well, thank you for standing for our country, and thank you very much, Sean, always for being willing to speak. Is there anything that people can do to help you? I know you still don't have your job back, right? You were a nurse, you loved nursing, and that nothing has changed. You don't have a job again in BC yet.
No. Actually, none of the nurses have been hired back. Unfortunately, because unfortunately for me and for them, I was the only guy that was fired for my mouth. So I've been in legal battles for the last 3.5 years, which has been quite expensive. I'm still waiting on a decision for that. But if someone wishes to support me, I've got a Give, Send, Go. It's at seantaylor.ca. I plan to do more. I plan to do some more social media and update the page. And I'm working with some people behind the scenes. You know me, I'm a live speaker guy. I'm not much into the technical stuff, but we'll hopefully get that sorted out and move forward.
Very good. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I will definitely take.
Tell you what, another friend showed up here.
I'd love it.
Yeah. All right. So God bless everyone.
God bless.
And I'll pass you over to another domestic terrorist.
All right. Just kidding, CSIS.
There's me and there's Art. So just a heads up to both of you, the phone might be getting really low. We might have to switch out the headset for a charger.
Yep.
Thanks, Sean.
You got it.
How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good. It's good to see you, Artur. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
So proud of you.
I'm always energized when I see freedom fighters. I mean, that's the family. When you come, so think about it, and you will understand this perfectly. When you're roaming the savannah, right, and you're kind of lonely, and you keep walking, and then you run into a pride of lions, and it's like hundreds of them. I mean, and the hyenas are nowhere to be found because they're so scared. That's how I feel.
Well, you know what? You have been a lion. Artur, are you feeling the wind of change that Canadians are getting stronger and bolder? But yet we have a problem ahead of us in that there are many that have not awakened to the lion pride that is now standing for our country.
Yes, here's how I believe it's going to unfold. I believe we are heading into an economical disaster that Canadians have never seen before. And I'm telling you, I believe it's going to be greater and more severe than the Great Depression. I know that's a scary thing, and some people may say you're out of lunch. Well, whatever you think, whatever works for you, I'm telling you, I used to be a businessman before I became a pastor, and I'm telling you, fiat currency is being shaved as we speak, and it's going to be shaved 30% and then more. Economy is collapsing as we speak right now. Here is a shocker, Laura. I was doing a press conference 2 weeks ago, and on the way back, I don't listen to the propaganda, right? The state propaganda, because that's what I grew up under, the Russian propaganda, so I can smell it right away. And I was driving back from the courts, and I put radio just to see if they're going to cover the press conference. Of course, they got scared and they decided not to cover the press conference. However, they were talking about economy, and I was shocked because even the government bought and paid for propaganda said that 30% of Canadians are not going to be able to pay for January's bills. And I turned to whoever was in the car with me and said, look, I have been telling people about this for over a year, because I hang around with bankers. Of course, as you know, Laura, I hang around with some powerful and knowledgeable people in the United States of America, and we are heading for a disaster. We have printed billions, trillions of dollars. We cannot service the debt. It's just a matter of time when this whole thing is going to blow up in people's faces. The politicians, instead of suffering, in quote, with the rest of us, what do? They raise taxes, so we suffer more, and then they give themselves even more salary. They're raising their salaries as we speak, and for whatever reason, there is this disconnect between the people that, for whatever reason, do not see what's going on, and the politicians and the people like me and you, because we are trying our best to slap them in the face. I just did that here. You see, I was probably the only person that took an aim at the UCP. Listen, those are the rapists that were raping us for the past 3.5 years, and you voted them in. They did not change. They're still raping us. They're still, raising taxes. They're still muzzling people in the hospitals. I just came back from the hospital. Half of the people are muzzled like dogs. They're still not hiring people. There is no recompense set to what happened to us. I mean, the list is so big. Nothing has been done. And I asked people in the church this morning, I said, okay, let me ask you a simple question. Are you better off with the UCP government that you voted back in a year ago, or you're worse? And every one of them said, no, we are worst. That's the reality. And somehow to get that reality to people's heads is difficult. But I do believe more and more people are being awakened, but they are being awakened by a slap in the face or a punch in the nose. They're bleeding and they're realizing, oh my God, those saviors are not saving us at all. They're actually the villains. So
you were offered a bribe, right? You were offered a bribe in order to be silenced.
I was offered $2 million to keep my mouth shut. I was offered a government position. I was offered a guaranteed seat at the legislature by Danielle Smith. I was offered all kinds of incentives and perks. I could be a very well-off man right now for my trouble, and I could be at the legislature. They told me they want a man like me at the legislature. But you see, Art Pawlowski is not a dog on a leash. I am not going to allow you to put a muzzle on my face just because you tell me what I can say, what I cannot say. You see, I am not for sale. You can put $1 billion on the table, Laura. This is just numbers. I mean, it means nothing. In the end of the day, if you lose your soul, if you lose your faith, if you lose your family, in the end of the day, you can be the richest man on earth and you can be the most miserable person on earth. And you got to remember, maybe because that's why God is using a man like me, because I tasted millions of dollars. As you know, we had 7 houses. I was driving sport cars. I was making $5,000 a day. And, perhaps that's why God decided to use me, because I've tasted the riches and there's nothing there. Without Jesus Christ, without faith, without family, without honor, without soul, all of that is worth, listen, it's worth absolutely zero. Nothing, at least to me. Maybe others, and as you can see within the freedom, family, you've got people that have sold their souls for perks and incentives. I can name names, but I'm not going to do it. People that during the election used to be with us, but they were flying the UCP Nazi flag. They were participating in this sham of an election, right? So there's some people that are for sale. Well, Art Pawlowski is not for sale. My family is not for sale. Our church is not for sale. My God is not for sale. Everything that I stand for, the most important things are not for sale. And that's why I rob people in the wrong way, because you see, there is no taming of a truth. Truth it stands on its own. You cannot muzzle truth. You cannot lead the truth on a leash. You do that to misinformation, disinformation, lies need support. And I just spoke at the rally here, and I looked at the people's faces, and some were really, really not happy with me. I don't really care. I'm not running for a popularity contest. I'm not running for anything. I mean, if you don't want a man like me, don't. Keep Daniel Smith and Pierre Poilievre, which is the same thing. They are playing the game of the same coin, the good cop and the bad cop. They're all corrupted cops. You don't believe me? Fine.
I just want to ask, why has Danielle Smith not done more for the Coutts 4? I never hear her talking about it. Why? Like this is injustice, and she's not saying anything, really.
Oh, I'll tell you right away why. Because there was a meeting that I was told about, actually, from someone that was there. And here is what the meeting was all about. The minister sat with Danielle Smith, newly elected Premier of Alberta, and here is what they said to her. Listen, you're not going to do anything with the amnesty. You're not going to do anything with the COVID craziness. You're not going to do anything about that. Why? Because if you do anything about this, that will send a message to Albertans that we're guilty, and we will not allow you to jeopardize our career. It's all about money. We have this Polish saying, if you don't know what this whole thing is all about, it's always about money and power. Money is power. Money is control. So she was told during the meeting with her ministers, and you got to remember also that the same people that did this to us, the same ministers, were appointed by Danielle Smith to be the ministers after she was elected. So the same people told her, listen, don't you dare do anything about this, because then you will throw us under the bus. And she said, okay, I won't. And that's exactly what is happening. So that's why look, today we are fighting for the life of 4 political prisoners, guilty or not. The due process is supposed to happen, innocent until proven guilty, which has been denied to Canadians. Not one politician showed up. Not Laura. Not one single MLA or member of parliament came. Why? We had thousands of people that participated today in a truck convoy. Where are the politicians? Where are the representatives of the people? Not even single one of them. But I'll tell you what Danielle Smith is doing today. Are you ready?
Yep.
She is fundraising in Camrose right now, as we speak right now. Instead of fighting for the man that has been kept, denied bail, while pedophiles and murderers and drug dealers and you name it, grandma beaters are let on bail, she's fundraising right now, making money for the UCP Nazi government. This is the reality, and I don't know how to articulate this in a more simple way for Albertans to realize, for Canadians to realize, you're being played like a fiddle and you're dancing according to the globalist tunes. I think what has to happen, unfortunately, I think the people have to suffer. There is no other explanation. I believe that Canadians have to. There is no other way. They have to suffer. They have to lose their homes. They, just like the Polish people did when the Soviets took over in 1945. I just don't see it another way. There is no logic behind their actions. They vote because of money, not because of who is good. They settle for the lesser of two evils. Whereas the opposition during our greatest attack on our liberties in the history of our great country, where was Pierre Poilievre when we were bleeding on the streets of our cities? Where was the opposition? Where was the Conservative federally? Where was the Conservative Party in Alberta? Well, they were the ones arresting people, right? Until this, people can listen to what I say. However, from here to their hearts, it looks like it's the longest journey. because they hear what I say and they immediately want to deny what I'm saying because it doesn't fit with their incentives that they were promised. So she's going to dig oil. Okay, so you'll have extra few dollars, which you're going to lose because the politicians, here is how they play. They will give you $5, but they will rob you with 10. So you're -5, but you think you are ahead of the game. That's exactly what we're observing. I gave them an option. The option is still on the table, but I think I have to wait. People like me, Laura, like you, like Maxime Bernier, Derek Sloan. I think people like us, we are ahead of our time. I think we have to wait for the people to really hurt, and maybe they will revisit their options and they will come back to people like us and say, you were right. I had a man a week ago, 2 weeks ago, sitting at my table, and he said, Art, you were right from the very beginning. Yes, I know I was right. And I'm not saying this proudly or arrogantly. I grew up in hell. I've seen this movie before. So when you know the script, right? We're observing a script, a movie, Hollywood production. When you know the script, you know what the next thing is going to be. And I just simply yelled and screamed, don't go there. I know the script. And the people that grew up here, and they said, no, you're crazy, you're delusional, you're a conspiracy theorist. And here we are.
Right. Can you tell me about your country that you came from, Poland? Like, would you rather be back there? Is it safer in Poland than here now?
No, unfortunately, this is a globalistic attack. There is no safe country, at least in my submission. Right now, this attack on our liberties is a global attack. This is a revived Roman Empire. This is what they wanted to do before, and now they think they can succeed. That's why you've got majority of the politicians that were bought and paid for. That's why you have the same narration coming from a Polish politician, coming from the French politician, English, Australian, American, Canadian, because it's a global attack on our liberties. So I think they're implementing their final solution, if you will, depopulation, control, digital ID, etc. But Laura, and I have been saying this so many times, what works for the villains, right? Whatever they are flipping the pages, how to become a tyrant, we can start flipping the pages, what helped people before us to counterattack the tyrants. Solidarity movement, of course, that I saw with my own eyes growing up, civil rights movement, Mahatma Gandhi movement, Martin Luther King Jr. movement. We know that those movements were highly successful and they were peaceful. We don't need guns, believe it or not. We don't need swords. We just need unity in solidarity with each other. In other words, what I'm trying to say, there is more of us than of them. So you're showing this crazy woke garbage. Why?
Yes.
Because
it's the rise of the Satanists. You know what
right?
I mean? That's what's going on. It's just taking over.
Yeah, because some psychopaths decided that because they have more money, they can control what you watch, with whom you have dinner with, etc. And I just simply say, no, don't comply. When they told us not to have a brother for a coffee, I invited my whole family and friends for dinner, and I took a picture and I sent it to them. When they told me they're canceling Christmas, remember, you were there with me. We had the most amazing Christmas ever. We were caroling. And of course, the cops, over 100 police officers, 52 police cars came, as you remember. And they were, it was Christmas after all. They came bearing gifts. I ended up with 15 COVID tickets. But you know what? We're stronger than them. Laura, we are just little people. David was a nobody, smelling like a sheep and a goat. But you see, we have somebody on our side. God of the truth is on our side. And simply, my message is like a broken record. We are stronger, not because physically we are, because the one that is behind us is the God. And he has the final say. So why do you submit to some psychopathic, woke, rogue pedophiles is beyond me. I say to you, resist at every corner. Don't participate. Just say no. Don't comply. Don't chip in. Expose them at every corner. That's how you combat lies. And it's not happening yet because you see, As long as the Canadians have their restaurants, hockey games, entertainment, Netflix, all those different things, it's not going to happen. They have to hurt, just like the Polish people in 1980. When Polish people came to a point, they were pushed to a corner that there was nothing more to lose, revolution started. So in a weird way, I don't want this to happen, but it must happen if we do care for our children. So think about it. Yes, we will suffer, but our children will have free country. That's what's at stake. And unfortunately, people have to hurt for them to wake up. We are heading, Laura, into something that Canadians have never seen. They're going to cry like they have never cried before. I prophesy that half of Canadians are going to lose their properties, or at least 30%. And it's not that I wish them that, it's just a reality. So what I'm saying is rise up, stand up today or else. And of course, when the people hear a man like me, they said, you're crazy, you're delusional, you're a conspiracy theorist. Okay, fine. Everything so far that I have been saying came to pass, including, as you remember, we stood against this garbage from the very beginning. Were we right? What did I say? Crown prosecutor, this pathological liar, Stephen Johnston, which is the same Crown prosecutor for the 4 men, the same liar, and he's a liar, he's a pathological liar and a manipulator. He was trying to force me to say I'm sorry that I took part in a freedom convoy. And I kept telling them, the whole world, I'm not sorry. I am super proud that I was privileged to be part of this great civil rights movement that Canada has never seen before. So were we right? We were right from the very beginning. Look, the federal court, which is a surprise to me, but they just rendered everything that this psychopath Caligula, modern day, Trudeau Caligula did was illegal, unconstitutional. So yes, I get it, Laura. I'm using a language that robs Canadians in the wrong way, but I'm doing it purposely because if I could get away with this, I would come and slap every Canadian in the face, and some of them would get a bloody nose from Art Pawlowski to awaken them, because I don't know what is going to take for Canadians to rise up and stand up against this. Right, we're heading into federal election, and what do I hear? I hear a new savior emerging, Pierre Poilievre, that was trained by Schwab, is part of WEF, and I just shake my head. People, you are extremely stupid. You're so extremely stupid. I just don't get it. I don't understand. So anyway, take it or leave it. And I'm sure you have now a bunch of those nice Christians that were walking like muzzled dog on a leash, shutting down the churches, saying, oh, he sounds not like a Christian. You know what? Read the Bible. Read the Bible, because you see from the very beginning apostles and prophets and Jesus insulting people, and not for the sake of insulting them, for the sake of getting a reaction. I am desperately looking for any reaction. Where are you, fathers? Where are you, mothers? Don't you care about your children because you're about to have them raped? Some of them are being raped by the politicians, and I don't see a big outcry. Is this a Stockholm syndrome of some sorts that Canadians love to be raped? I don't like to be raped. Maybe it's a Polish thing, but we don't like to be raped, okay? So, I want to finish with this, Laura-Lynn, because you're going to have thousands of so-called Christians yelling and screaming, he is very evil man. There is
they love you.
There is this problem with the ostrich, and I'm sure you've heard it many times. People.
Uh-oh. Oh, I think we lost his feed. That's all. I know that that Dominique said that her phone was dying, and so that may very well be what happened there. Oh, fascinating. I just love to listen to Pastor Art Pawlowski, because he's been there. My concern is what he's saying about the finances, and I'm going to let you go. I'll put this on actually. This is actually a commercial for gold, but here's the thing. We have been talking about how important it is. This is concerning that Pastor Archer is talking to us about the financial loss, the finances that we are about to see be diminished, our currency be diminished. He's saying by 30%. Now, how would Pastor Archer know something like that? I can only tell you that one of the things that Pastor Archer knows about is when communism takes in, what happened in Poland. He understands that growing up in that environment, and he understands the power that can happen when we see a government that does not at all know what they're doing, and they begin to come in and they destroy our economy. They've destroyed small business. We still all have some of our favorite restaurants that have never been put back. And, right now we've got Trump leading Biden by more than he ever has before. And I hope that that's a really good sign. I'm also hearing people say, when Trump comes back in, it's going to fix everything, and maybe we're going to have a little bit of help for our economy. Hey, maybe when Pierre Poilievre gets in, we're going to see a little bit, of help for our economy. But here's the problem, everybody. One of the things is that there's some forces at work, and I'm hearing more and more people say, are we really going to have another election? There seems to be a problem, and we know that now Trudeau and Jagmeet Singh are moving heaven and earth to try to change the electoral voting system. And they would like to have a 3-day vote where you can vote at basically anywhere that you would like to vote. You can go there. You have 3 days to go and do it. And some people, including Maxime Bernier, warning that, that we're going to basically potentially be seeing the opportunity for people to do multiple votes at different places. Like when they start getting desperate, this is what they do. They get desperate and they potentially can, compromise our elections. So of course, JT and I always, we encourage that you would get some gold and silver. That's what we did. We put any excess funds out of cash. So I don't know if you're out there, you're listening. This might be a God moment right now where you need to know that you shouldn't just think that you're safe because you've got a little nest egg. You've got a little nest egg. Oh, there you are, Pastor Archer.
Yes.
We never went away.
What happened was the ostrich killed the battery.
Okay.
The ostrich killed the battery, so we had to plug it in. And so I just want to finish the story with ostrich, because I know the people are sitting on the edge of their chairs and saying, what happened to the ostrich? Will we ever find out what happened to the ostrich? Well, here's what happened to the ostrich. People think that when they put their heads in the sand, they're protected. I see nothing, I hear nothing, my head is in the sand. But my friends, what is sticking out though? Close your eyes and watch, and just try to visualize ostrich with its head in the sand. What is sticking out? If you choose to be an ostrich, I just want you to know you will be a Canadian ostrich with a bum sticking out. And they will do to you whatever they want. And I mean, this is not a fun thing. That's what happened to Polish people. And we must counterattack this. And we can do it. You see, this is the saddest part of the story, Laura. We can actually do this. We can turn this tide around. We can flip the tables on the globalists. We can do this. There's more of us than of the globalists. Combined together, yes, we think we don't have enough resources. No, that's not true. When we come together, combine our resources, we are stronger and more powerful and richer than the globalists. We just don't realize that, because individually we are like one ostrich here with the bum sticking out and another ostrich over there with the bum sticking out, and they just come and do whatever they want. I say, look what's happening in the United States of America. I'm so excited. Finally, Americans are taking it to the borders. The executive order of that psychopathic guy that doesn't know if he's in China or in America, Biden, he says, I'm going to punish the governors. What? Come, bring it on. See, Americans are on a rise. Canadians must follow. 2 years ago, this is an anniversary of the truck convoy. 2 years, we inspired the whole globe. We inspired the entire world. Now there are others that are inspiring us. Let's not be the ostrich. Let's follow. Look what's happening in France. Look what is happening in Germany. Polish farmers joined the Germans. This is a global uprising. This is our momentum. Do not go back to your stupid hockey games. Don't go back to the restaurants. You know what? If you want a steak, I cook you one which is the best ever. You don't need that stuff. Go and let's unite in solidarity and let's plow, keep plowing. Don't just sit, okay, it's nice because I can go and yell at the hockey game. You can yell in my house if you want. Free. You know?
People are asking what they should do. If there's, you've said some things about the financial situation. And is that because you believe our government is so corrupt that we're going to have a very big problem coming up here with our country? What should people do then? What do you see that they should do financially to prepare?
Okay, I'm not a financial advisor. I just want to say that. I want to tell the people that do not spend your money on stupid things. This is not the time to waste your money. Prepare your family. If you can, pay off your debts, credit cards, line of credits, mortgages. If you can, I get it. People are hurting. And if you have something extra or sell something stupid that you don't need, like a hockey jersey or whatever, and then buy yourself a kilo of silver or a gold if you can. I mean, prepare yourself with something that historically had any value. You know, precious metals always had value thousands of years ago, and they will have value, you know, thousands of years if Jesus doesn't come in the future. Prepare yourself that way, because I'm telling you, they're going to print trillions of dollars again. When the stock market goes down, they're going to try to fill the holes just like they did always. And our dollar is going to be shaved. The power of American dollar, the power of Canadian dollar is not going to be worth as much as it was a year ago. And you can already feel it. You go to a grocery store and you got a shock. You see, if I had my way, I would slap every Canadian in the face. I'm being slapped every time I go to a grocery store. On a regular basis, I'm being slapped by the government, raising taxes. Everything is more expensive. The coffee that I was buying for $15, $13, now it's $23. Who can afford this? We are coming to a very, very sharp stop, and some people will be flipped. Do not spend money using credit cards, line of credits. Do not remortgage your house because you want a vacation. Don't do this stuff. Prepare yourself. And if you can, convert, because you're not buying anything, you're just converting one currency for another. Buy something that has real value. Haggai, right? The scripture is very clear. And of course, Laura-Lynn, I know you, and I know that you can lead people into a good man that can supply that, and do it. Prepare yourself, because what's coming, you see, Polish immigrants, and again, I don't want to sound arrogant, but Polish immigrants, all immigrants from the Eastern Bloc, put it this way, we lived in hell. We will survive because we were born in hell. So now hell is coming. Okay, we know what to do. In a weird way, we will adjust very quickly. I'm worried about Canadians that were born here. You have never seen totalitarian regime, my friends. You got no idea what I'm saying. You think they are good guys. They are monsters. Those politicians are monsters. If I was your king, thousands of them would be charged with treason. I think you're muted. It's the ostrich again.
And as well they should be, absolutely. But it seems like in our country we don't do these kinds of things, you know. And Dr. Roger Hodkinson had some pretty strong words earlier about that. But Pastor Artur, how can we help you? Because I know that you're now suing the government. So tell us about that.
I'm very excited about that because for the past, as you know, 19 years, I have been defending myself. My first arrest attack from the government was 2005, 2006. So for me, it's a long fight against tyranny for freedom. And I always said to my lawyers, I want to sue them. I want to go after the villains. And always I receive the same answer. It will cost you tons of money and probably you will not win anything. This is the first trial. This is the first case that I believe that the information we're going to get from the civil litigation is worth more than money. Even if it costs me $1 million, the information I will be able to give to the Canadians and internationally, of course, it's worth more than gold. People deserve to know who did this to them, and they deserve to know why this was done to them, who got what. Civil litigation has this power that we will be able to call as a witness anyone. We will put on a stand Hinshaw. We will put on a stand Jason Kenney, probably Daniel Smith. She doesn't know that yet. But probably every villain in a land will have to testify because I'm suing them with my brother David personally. I'm going after them personally, not as entities, only as the government, but I'm going after them personally. They have to testify in front of the court. Discovery is going to be a Hollywood production. I mean, if I could have a camera there, it would be, unbelievable. Memos, texts, emails, Freedom of Information Act, asking the right questions. They will be giving each other up like crazy. We're going after Attorney General of Canada. We're going after Alberta Health Services. We're going after Riemann Center. We're going after the Chief of Police, Newfield, that liar, protector of pedophiles. We're going after our CMP officers, John Doe, Jane Doe. We're going after Canada Post for arresting me for nothing. We're going after anyone and everyone that we can tie. We are alleging conspiracy. So we're not just suing them. We want to prove in front of the courts that there was a conspiracy against my family. And not just against me, but against Albertans. That's what excites me. Immediately the cockroaches came and they said, oh, it's going to take 10 years. You will not be able to do it. Bring it on, baby. I was born for this fight. Look, I'm fighting those devils for 19 years. You think I cannot fight them for another 20? Ha! You're going to be surprised. I can fight them until Jesus comes back, which is a very long time. And they said, it's going to cost them millions of dollars. You know what? My God owns all the silver and all the gold. So bring it on, and I will give to the people the right information about what was done to them. If you want to be part of this, I get it that you maybe cannot sue them because, this is a huge fight. I understand that. You can be part of this lawsuit. Go to streetchurch.ca, streetchurch.ca, and click on legal fight, and you will be able to hear a press conference and a lawyer talking about this case. We're doing crowdfunding, and we're raising money. I already paid them $30,000, and of course there is more to come. I was told that $1 million is a minimum. But again, I believe you deserve someone that would actually fight for you. I believe you deserve someone that will expose this plot and give you the information who did this to you. You deserve to know what kind of a monster lives next door and why they sold you and your mom and your children for trinkets and incentives. So that's what we're doing, streetchurch.ca. And I'm telling you, I'm so excited. I don't know if you can tell, but I am very, very excited. 3.5 years I have been defending myself. Now I can go after the villains.
And are you still feeding the homeless and taking care of the people on your streets in Calgary? I see pictures from like yesterday or today or something.
I will never stop that. We are feeding the homeless people, thousands of them, 3 times a week. We have always been doing that, and we will always do that until Jesus comes back. So that never changes. That's what we do. That's the ministry. All the other thing is a secondary thing. The number one thing that we do is we take care of the most vulnerable people in our society, and we preach the truth that will set them free so they can have what we have, which is a real freedom from drugs, freedom from poverty, freedom from depression, suicidal thoughts, etc.
You're amazing, and we love you so much, Pastor Archer. We're going to support you through this battle. Thank you for taking on the government. Thank you for holding them accountable. God has truly created you to be a lion, and we love to hear from you. Canada's giving you lots of love in the feeds. We actually have almost 1,000 people watching right now on all our platforms, and so we honor you, Pastor Archer. Keep going.
Thank you so much. And for those that were offended, I don't really care. And the thing is that to shine for Jesus, you have to be polished, and just this is just how it is. So that's how the Polish people talk. You got to take me the way I am. Love you. Thank you so much for everything, and keep plowing. And please keep the faith, keep hope. We know how the story ends. We win in the end.
We do win. God bless you. God bless you. All right, everyone. We've had a great day. Hi. Yes. Hi,
Dominique.
I've been calling you Michelle sometimes.
It's okay. Yes, I understand. People get confused. They're like literally kicking us. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out they're literally kicking us out of the building.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dominique, for what you did. God bless you.
God bless you.
Go
We'll
home,
talk
be with
soon.
your 7 kids. Love you. Thank you for doing what you did.
I want to say bye.
All right. All right. Okay. Oh, Kayleen. Good to see you guys. Hey, keep on fighting, everybody.
Love you, Laura-Lynn. Bye.
Love you too. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. All right. So thanks, everyone. Thanks for Saturday, seeing what's going on around the world. It's been really fun. People are rising up everywhere. Stand strong. God is with us. God loves you. You are not forsaken. Do not be afraid. Do not have fear. Make sure you always remember that God has us in the palm of his hand. He is fully able to take care of us underneath this tyranny of Justin Trudeau. We pray for vindication and justice for the Coutts 4. May God bless them. May God be with James, who faces his next battle in court on Monday. And to all of you, God loves you. Thank you very much. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye. You know, it's not easy to deliver the truth of what our sick world is doing, but for some of us, we feel that we have no choice. Because if we are silent about these abominable things, then we are letting evil go unchecked, and we cannot do that. For those of you wonderful people who are writing me and are sharing your encouragement, I am deeply grateful. Thank you for all the letters that you've been sending. Thank you for the donations and the support. I found out that in order to speak the truth, you have to become very, very strong. If you would go to my website at www.lauralynn.tv, you'll find all of the ways that you can contact me. Remember, my friends, all is well. All is well. Thanks for joining me.